What's up? What's up? Can y'all hear me? Yeah, let me turn these speakers. Yeah, that's not what I want. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's better now. Check it out. This is Mr. Royce Media coming at you guys with a part two live stream. How y'all doing tonight? I hope everybody's doing good. What's going on? Turn this mic down a little bit, just a little bit. I don't want to bombard y'all with too much volume, just enough to make everything sound good. You know how y'all doing tonight, man? Yeah, I wanted to come back and run my mouth some more in that live stream earlier. I want to allow a few minutes to get some people into the chat because, as you all know, this is a chat driven commentary about current events and news, and mostly just me running my mouth. Yeah, man. So today is Hump Day. So there's 2 more days until the weekend. You guys can party. You guys can creep over to Big Shirley's house, pick up them big girls in the nightclubs, because I know that's what y'all do. You know, get them home, try to get some sloppy toppy from Big Shirley. Yeah, yeah, I know what y'all do. I only date nines and tens. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's what you like. Yeah, yeah, buddy. Yeah, I'm here talking. I'm here popping mad shit. That's right. I'm talking shit about that. But I love y'all. I do it out of love, you know? So it is what it is, man. So yeah, it's quite a bit going on in the news and we'll talk about it. You know, as I said before, this is chat driven commentary. So what y'all want me to talk about, I'll talk about within reason. If it's some crazy stuff, man, I'm gonna have to refrain because I don't want to get too crazy, you know. But if it's something I can talk about, I will. I'll run my mouth about it, you know. So earlier today on Facebook, I was watching Fat Joe give an interview um, on a podcast. Now, Fat Joe is he's a legend in the hip hop game, a guy from New York, from the Bronx, I want to say, and he's been around hip hop a long time. He's said some, uh, I would say, mid controversial stuff about like Latinos um, uh, being there at the start of hip hop, which I agree. You know, if you're talking New York, I agree. I Now I don't know about with the '70s, but when I first got introduced to hip hop, like around I would say 1983, 84, the first b-boys that I met in Chicago were Puerto Ricans from New York, and they was all about it. They was tagging, break dancing, listening to rap, all of that stuff, walking around with big ass boom boxes and stuff like that. And really, when I think about it before then, looking at characters like Shabba-Doo, who I want to say his real name is like Victor Quinones. He's actually from Chicago, and he was in the Breaking movie. Um, you know, Chicago had a lot of cats in Humboldt Park that kind of went that way. And like I said, I met b boys from New York that kind of brought hip hop to the Chicago area that I know of. You know, so I would say they were there early on. Now, if they were there at the beginning, I would say it's possible. Now, now if somebody jumps up and say, "Oh yeah, Puerto Rican started hip hop," I I don't know. I would doubt. I would have to see some proof, and I'm not going to watch the Machines movie. I'm not doing that. But I will say they've been in hip hop a long time. Like I said, I don't know about the '70s, but I know in the early '80s they were in it. Yeah. Hey, y'all hear this wind? We got a lot of wind going on over here in Northeast Florida, man. It's howling, Jack. It's blowing. You know, what the nice thing about it though, it cools everything off. It don't make it feel as humid because around this time of year, it gets super humid in Florida. And it rains. During hurricane season, which is now hurricane season starts in June. It rains quite often. A lot of times it'll rain every day. Depending on what's going on the Atlantic, it'll rain at least once a day to the point to where you can set your clock by it. So we got that going. You know. Other than that, getting back to Fat Joe, one of the controversial things that now a lot of people take issue with, well, a lot of black people, besides the his statements about hip hop, is he uses the word ninja. A lot of people feel that he shouldn't say it because he's Puerto Rican. Well, having a lot of family in Puerto Rican, I tell people, well, I'm not Puerto Rican, but I'm Puerto Rican adjacent. My family is actually from Honduras and Belize. They started off in Honduras, and they the Caribbean side. They started off in actually really Saint Vincent, and then you know um, they immigrated to Honduras, and then from Honduras they crossed over into Belize because if you know anything about that area in Central America, Honduras and Belize are right next to each other. So I do have family in the Bay Islands from the island of Roatan. So um, that being said, a lot of our family and are married with people from Puerto Rico for whatever reason, and so that's why I say I have a lot of second and third cousins in Puerto Rico, and not just in Loiza, you know, but all around the island, especially in the southern part of the island, and San Juan. I had quite a bit of family there too. Um, but anyway, um, that being said, what I know about Puerto Ricans and Dominicans and stuff, a lot of them have grandparents with African ancestry. A lot of the older people that I'm related to, these are people of Africanoid phenotype, and so if you look at a lot of the older people there, especially depending on what part of the island they're in, there is some African in their DNA. Um, as I said before, you have Black Americans that take issue with Fat Joe saying the ninja word. I'll say this: a few things. Number one, um, is Fat Joe black? No, he's Puerto Rican. That being said, they do have the African DNA, and a lot of them live adjacent to Black Americans in places like Chicago, New Jersey, in the boroughs in New York, so forth and so on. Them and Dominicans, and they grow up with Black Americans, and the ninja word is part of their vernacular. So the man is he's got to be 51, 52. He's been saying it all his life. Why is it now in the last few years it's a problem? Number two, Yeah, and you know he has African ancestry. He's been saying it. Number three, and I've said this before: people who are not Black Americans have heard Black Americans use the ninja word decades, and Black Americans made the word cool. They made the word colloquially, in a colloquial sense. It has replaced man, bro, dude, so forth and so on, to where you know it rolls off the literally rolls off the tongue. It is, you know, it is what it is. Black Americans shouldn't have made the word cool. Now everybody wants it. That's why you got Lily White, girls like them two girls from last week. You know, they want to say it. You know, so they shouldn't have made the word cool. You know, I haven't seen Jews make the racial epithet you described them. I haven't seen them make the word cool. I haven't seen the Chinese make the epithet aimed at them. I haven't seen them make it cool. I haven't seen Mexicans make the epithets um, attributed to them cool. Black Americans seem to be the only ones. Black Americans and white Americans with the word cracker. And I explained to you all last week that word cracker. It only means it has two different meanings. It has a different meaning to whites than it does to blacks. In fact, you want to insult a white person, you call them racist. That's more offensive than cracker any day of the week. I'll bet money on that. Um, but that's what you have with that word. And then this is the third thing that I didn't bring up that I think I should that needs to be said. Black Americans have no problem with white Americans, white liberals calling Black Americans who do not vote Democrat, who do not align with liberal ideas, who do not toe the line for the liberal agenda. Black Americans have been real comfortable with white Americans calling these people coons, calling black people coons. If this is the case, I don't see an issue with white Americans using the word ninja. I don't. If you're allowing white Americans to say coon, you can't, in my opinion, in good conscience, call, get upset when they say the ninja word. You open the door for that stuff. So it's like women with the B word. Y'all calling each other B's all the time. I get mad at guys calling you B's. You don't like being called batches? You know, why are you calling each other batches? You know, this language police and stuff. As I said before, it's stupid. It's stupid. I don't see I don't see the sense in. Um, you know, I think it's a waste of time. What do you guys think? Because I'm pretty sure somebody will have a different opinion than I have. Some of y'all may agree. Some of y'all will disagree. Somebody's bound to disagree because the emotionalism attached to the ninja word is, you know, it's significant. You know, it's significant, but also the things attached to the ninja word can be very disingenuous. Now, the funny thing is, I don't see older Black Americans like boomers. I don't see a lot of them using the word, especially if they have a little education. They don't use the word. But everybody, Gen X and below, everybody say it all the time. It is what it is. You know, it is what it is. So, what do y'all think about that, man? Hey, do me a favor for the people coming in. Do me a favor, hit that like button for me, or hit the dislike button. You know, it's up to you. You don't like what I'm talking about? Hit the dislike button. You know, so yeah, so yeah, man. I wanted to hop back on here. I want to get back to live streaming regularly. You know, making the time to do this because I actually like babbling and running my mouth talking to you guys. So I wanted to make sure I start getting back doing something as often as I can, and hopefully get to the point to where I'm doing this regularly. You know. So anyway, what else is going on? What else is going on? So the thumbnail for this video was your fired, and I talked about that earlier today. And I told y'all my feelings about that. You got people going to get black men fired for speaking their minds on social media. I'd say return the favor. I'd rather not see people get fired for having opinions, even if the opinions are kind of uncomfortable. But if people are going to go through lengths to get black men fired, hey, let's get everybody fired. You know, well, let's not do it to anybody. You know, so yeah, we got that going. So you know, oh yeah, you know what I wanted to talk about last week? There was this thing going around where you had BWs um, saying that dating apps were racist because they weren't getting in the pools for the types of guys that they were looking for, and they felt that this was being done intentionally by dating apps. Now, I have never been on any of these new dating apps. I've been married a long time, so I don't know how they work, but I do understand a little something about algorithms. How algorithms are set up, how like cookies and different things like that, and preferences and you know uh, filters and different things like that. I do understand a little bit about that, and what I understand is that you set your preferences, you know, and because you set your preferences on what you want, that's going to dictate what you're shown by these different search engines. Now on these dating apps, these guys are getting on, you know, they have preferences. If they like BBWs, they put that as one of their BBWs in it. Just like you can set what you would like to see, you can also set your preferences for what you don't want to see. Kind of like parental controls. So if you don't want BBWs, you can set it to not have BBWs. If you don't want women under 5'2", I believe you can set it on some of those apps. If you are not looking for people in a certain area, you can set those apps to that. You can dictate your preferences and you can dictate the things you don't want to see. And from what I'm understanding is that, these guys are setting their preferences, and the issue that these BWs are having is that they don't meet the preferences of these guys. And so, and one of the preferences is that the guys that these women are after don't want to date BWs. So this is obviously non-black guys. It is what it is. It's non-black guys. These are BWs that are looking for non-black guys to try to meet and date. So what they're doing, what the BWs are doing, is that they're changing their demographics, their racial demographics, and putting themselves as something else be it mixed race or probably Latina, something like that, so that um, they can try to get in these guys' pools. And they say because of this, the dating apps are racist. You know, let me tell you straight up, this looks like just something else to cry about. Forever being a victim, forever being a victim, forever, crying about, ooh, nobody like me. It's goofy. It's goofy. I've always been a person that has had the mindset of go be with who wants to be with you. You don't waste your time on people who don't want to be with you. You know, um, go with who likes you, like who likes you. And so the problem is that these women on these dating apps, these BWs, are trying to impose themselves on people who don't want to be bothered with them. You know, be it non-black men or be it black men. There's some black guys that they prefer to date women of other races. You know, the thing about preferences, you can have all the preferences you want, but if your preference don't prefer you, it is what it is. You got to move around. You know, I tell you this much: I am so glad I am married. I'm so glad that my wife is cool. You know, um, that if me and my wife split tomorrow, I wouldn't be out here dating like that, man. I don't think I would be on those dating apps, man. That stuff, it seems like a disaster, man. It seems like a whole lot of crazy stuff. I know like people in my family that have used dating apps and they got some horror stories, man. One of my buddies is on a dating app, you know, and he was talking about his experiences meeting some of the women that he met, how none of them look like the pictures that they put up on the apps, like, catfishing them with the filters and stuff and all kinds of stuff, listen, these women they know how to use them filters. They know strategic angles to place the cameras so you can't see how big they are and stuff. Stuff like that. If you aren't already in the know, if you're naive, you new to it all, they'll fool you. Like the taking the big full face picture. I used to work with a girl. She had a cute face, but she was short and fat. She was short and fat. And what she would do, so you couldn't tell how big she was, she would take these really close up pictures of her face, so you could focus on her face. And these guys would meet her and then they would be upset because she was short and fat. And I was like, hey, they obviously don't want that. And she put her weight as the weight she was, 15, 20 years ago. And I've been knowing this girl almost 30 years. I actually known her almost as long as I know my wife. Um, like I said, coworker, and I seen her get bigger and bigger over the years. She didn't get taller, but she got wider. you know, different. For different reasons. Some of it beyond her control. Some of it is because she's got a hearty appetite. You know, and we talked about what happens when you work in law enforcement, how, it's easy to gain weight and the reasons why. And, she is one of those people that gain weight. Some a good portion of it was because of her career, the nature of the career. And then a good portion of it was, she she liked food a lot. you know, Food is a coping mechanism, you know, Food is a social thing for all of that stuff. She like food and she like liquor, you know. So hey, it is what it is. And she don't like exercise. She don't like exercise. She's you know she she don't like walking. And she actually lives in an area where there's a lot of she can do a lot of walking. She don't like doing that though because that requires effort. She don't like doing it. She likes being comfortable. Yeah. But yeah, she was pulling this stuff, trying to fool these guys on these dating apps, and they would be all disappointed when they met her. She'd get maybe one date, one meetup out of them, and she, never hear from them again. Or different stuff like that, And I was like, hey, guys don't like being catfish, you know. But yeah, that's the thing with these dating apps and stuff. The funny thing about it is the guys that do like these women, and it's really primarily BWs that I've heard the complaints about. I haven't heard the complaints from other groups of women. The big thing that was going on last week, it was BWs, and the thing about it was there are apps that are specifically tailored to Black Americans. You know that for people who want to date Black Americans and that Black Americans want to date them, they have apps for that. And these are the apps that they're complaining about are like you know I guess like Hinge and stuff like that. Whatever them apps are. The one they was talking about last week is Hinge. Like I said, I don't really know a whole lot about these apps, so I'm just babbling my opinion. But from what I'm seeing, what the conversation is, my assessment of the conversation is just, BW's finding something else to complain about. The BWs that are participating and who don't like their results, it's just something new that they can complain about. It's another ism that they can whine and complain about. So it is what it is. I guess it's not my business because I'm not out there dating, but that's not gonna stop me from running my mouth about it. Yeah, man. What I wanted to talk about too, there's a content creator named Life and Scars. And I watch his content from time to time. Dude is pretty entertaining. He is really a really ghetto comedian. And he's a gamer and stuff, and he gets on his live streams and he yaps, talk a whole lot of shit. And and I guess he was doing a live stream with his girl, and they were looking at some other girls. You put a camera on these women, on some women, and they can't help themselves but be exhibitionists and shake what their mama gave them. And I guess some girl was shaking, uh, um, she was shaking um, booty and titties, and he was having a good old time, and it was him and his girl on live stream watching his girl. He was having a good time, and I guess he was having a little too much fun, and so his girl got jealous, and you know, she started physically attacking him on the live stream. They ended up getting into a physical fight on the live stream. A few things. Number one, if you are a man and you get physically attacked by a woman, I feel you have the right to defend yourself. I don't have an issue, but I know what other police officers and I know what a lot of people in the general public are like. If you're a man, it's your fault. If a woman attacks you, you must have did something. And of course, him being too entertained by some other chick shaking it was what he did was wrong. That's how they're going to see it. So in their minds, she had a reason to attack him. She wasn't wrong. That's how people, a lot of people see it, and some of those people are police officers. He got arrested and got charged with a domestic. Number two, social media. Women in social media, there's a weird dynamic with women when it comes to social media. Women get to doing a lot of crazy stuff that they're better off hiding. They get to doing that on social media. We see it all the time. Saying stuff, doing stuff. Just making fools out of themselves. It is what it is. Um, they for whatever reason they feel like they're living their truth, and people like me look at it and go, "Oh, yeah, no, your truth is foolish." But they get real funny when the camera's on. I don't know what it is. Um, I think maybe the Native Americans were onto something when there was a belief among certain groups of Native Americans they didn't want pictures being taken of them because they believed that it took their spirits or different things like that. They believed that it was some kind of witchcraft, and I believe maybe they had a point. Maybe they had a point with that because social media has a lot of women acting a fool, and it's not all of them, but it's enough to where it's highly noticeable. It's easily noticeable. Um, so the thing about it is, um, you got to be real careful how you move on social media, especially if you have a girl, you got a wife, you got a girlfriend, especially if you live in when y'all got a serious relationship. Social media is going to cause problems. It is what it is, you know. Um, so you have to be careful. Um, Another thing, men, when you're doing something that seems fun to you, count on your girl killing that fun. It is what it is. Count on your girl killing that fun. I don't care what ethnic or racial group your girl comes from. Um, at some point, they're going to kill your fun if you're having too much fun. I don't know what it is with women and men having fun, but it is about women with men having fun. They have to be the fun spirit. Shout out to Patrice O'Neal. They will kill all the fun. You could be hanging out with your guys at your house, y'all cracking jokes, having a good time. She gonna think y'all talking bad about it. You know, it is what it is. So if you're doing something you think it's gonna be fun, you're gonna have a good time. Stop that shit. Stop that shit. If your girl around, stop that shit. Cause she gonna get the fuck on your nerves. A lot of you guys know when you get ready to get out, you get ready to go out with the boys, and your girl start a fight with you. So many guys have went through it. Hey, you know, it's like, oh, you're gonna have fun without me? They look at stuff like that as cheating. It's just like if you go to a restaurant and you get yourself something to eat, even after she tells you she ain't hungry, if she see you eat something, you didn't bring something for her, but you don't let her have some of your food, they think that's cheating too. In their mind, you cheated on her. Yeah, man, that's the crazy mentality of women. They see things differently. You know, you know, it is what it is, man. And men and women be going through it on social media, man. You know, there ain't nothing funnier than seeing people with joint Facebook pages. you know, everybody be like, "Oh, somebody got caught cheating," crazy shit like that. And that may be the case. It may not be, but it's funny. You know. No, no, I'm running my mouth a lot. What y'all think about that, man? What y'all think about what I've just talked about so far? Because that's the stuff we see, man. That's stuff we see with the lovely ladies. That's the stuff we see, man. What y'all think? If I have any women out here watching this video, what do y'all think? Help us understand. Yeah, man. Yeah. So that was something I wanted to talk about too. The funny thing about it, Life and Scars, he talked about the incident after he got out of jail. He got back on. He talked about it. So people was asking him, did he feel bad for hitting his girl? He was like, or was he, acting out of, some kind of blind rage or something? He was like, no, no, I felt good. My mind was very clear. know, listen, man. You know, I'll say this: some people, all they understand is violence, and some people earn the ass kicking that they get. I'm gonna leave it at that. You gotta take it how you want to take it. Some people earn the ass kicking that they get. You know. Um, as far as Life is Scars, also known as Game is Game. Hopefully, you know, the judge will see what the public saw and drop the charges against him. But if they don't, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, look at what happened to what's that guy that was in all the movies? The old square jaw guy. It looked like he was from the 40s. Black guy. That he had to push. Him and his girl got into a fight in the car. He had to push her off of him, and she ended up like hurting her finger, and he ended up getting convicted of some type of domestic charge behind that. When he was trying to get away from it, they got video of this guy running from her. You know, and some people would be like, "Well, you should have been with that white woman." Yeah, okay. I've seen more instances like that. Um, of people of the same races than I have of interracial incidents. You know, you're more likely to see the people of the same race than you are interracial people. So I'm not trying to hear all that. You know, it's a thing with it's a thing in the culture in the U.S. where too many women feel free to attack men in conflict situations. Too, they feel free to physically attack men. And this is something we actually got to stop. You know, I am a big advocate of people keeping their hands to themselves. And if you throw the first strike, you whatever comes back is what you get. You don't want to get hit. Keep your hands off people, and don't provoke people into fights and stuff either. You see a lot of that. where you have women trying to provoke people in the fights, and that's that's no good. But they're unable to do it. They have the force of law enforcement and the court system and legislation where they can do that because they'll deal with minimal consequences, if any at all. Whereas as a man, they're going to find something to use the state to penalize and enslave you, because that's all incarceration is. It's a period of enslavement. Your punishment is basically slavery. When you are convicted, when you have to go to a correctional facility of some sort, it's slavery basically. I spent almost 30 years in law enforcement. I know what I'm talking about. I know exactly what it is. You know, the prison industrial complex is nothing more than backdoor slavery. Pause. No diddy. No diddy. Speaking of diddy, this is the month of June, and earlier um, I announced my support and celebration for Caribbean Heritage Month. Me having Caribbean heritage, you know, that's what I see the month as. As far as the social political agenda for the you know the sexual preference people, I'm not with that. But that being said, and like I said, speaking of Diddy, Marlon Wayans, I guess he was on a podcast. I'm not sure which one it was, but Marlon has uh, uh, he has a child that has decided to pick a gender different than the one they were born with. And he was showing his support, and he even has a picture where he has the rainbow flag, like a bandana or an eye patch or something, the rainbow flag, in support of uh, his child. Um, and I mean, it is what it is. You've had people like Dwayne Wade, Magic Johnson, other people, su- support that movement in support of their children. And hey, it is what it is. Um, I look at it like this. That's If that's what you want to do over there, fine. Y'all go do that over there. Don't get mad at me. If my son decide, hey, I want to be a Mormon and I want to do what the Mormons do, um, I'll support him. And you open that door. Don't get mad at how other people treat it. I'll say that much. I'll say that much. You know. Uh, so anyway, as far as this election stuff is getting down to the wire, man. Donald Trump is rolling along. That being said, Biden, they just had a fundraiser for Biden, and he got a gang of money in that fundraiser. Um, and I'm not mad at him. Hey, get as much money as you can to do what you do. I hope he doesn't win the re-election. But it's getting down to the wire, and there's a debate coming up. I'm looking forward to seeing that debate. And the great thing is they're not going to have an audience. I think that's key because I don't think either one of these guys need distractions or to have an audience to play to. I know Trump is a showman, and he'll he'll perform if he has an audience. Um, Biden is going to try to plead his case, why he should be reelected. and he'll try to play to the crowd as well. He's nowhere near as good as Trump when it comes to playing to the crowd, but if there was a crowd there, he would try to play to the crowd as well. I think it's great that there won't be a crowd there. Let's just focus on the topics. I think it's going to be monumental. I can't wait. That to me is going to be better than a lot of these boxing matches. You know, speaking of which, Javante Davis just won I guess against Terrence Farmer. Shout out to the Javante Davis. Javante Davis cannot sell a fight to save his life, but Javante Davis is no joke when it comes to what he does in the ring. The dude can crack for a guy his size can crack. Shout out to him. He puts in. He gets the job done. Hey, I'm not mad at him at all. I'm not mad at him at all for that. I don't think he moves his head enough. I'd like to see him move his head more. I'd like to see him be a little bit um, more of a technical boxer. And he does some things that are very good technically. I like to see him do a little more, but hey, the man can crack, and salute to him for his knockout because Terrence Farmer. Uh, he talked a lot of crap, and Javante Davis, you know, um, tested his chin. So yeah. So salute to Javante Davis on another win, and I hope your next fight you make even more money, bro. It's a rough sport. There's a lot of consequences to being at a sport like that and performing at a level like that against the competition you got to perform against. So I hope you can make as much money as you can, Mr. Davis. Get paid and retire before you take too much damage, so you can enjoy your family and enjoy the rest of your life. Because you're gonna need that money, bro. You're gonna need that money. So salute to you. Anyway, I'm about to shut this live stream down, and I appreciate for those of you all who showed up, hit the like button. I appreciate you guys being here, and I will be back tomorrow morning, sometime in the morning, with another live stream. Y'all take it easy. See y'all tomorrow. Peace. I'm out.